So this is the flatbread episode. You're going to need flour, Greek yogurt, any seasoning you want, baking powder, salt, pepper. You're going to need 1.5 cups of flour. Then you're going to empty half a cup of Greek yogurt, that's what you're seeing me do right now, into the bowl to mix. Next, you're going to add the baking powder, which is half a teaspoon. Then you're going to add salt. I just eyeballed it, so it's probably half a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon. And then I added seasoning to taste, so I added garlic and herb seasoning, so it's kind of Italian flavored. Then I added a 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then you're going to mix that, and it's going to form a shaggy dough. You can see it kind of come together as a shaggy dough, how it starts to crumple. That's what you want. This was actually my first time making flatbread, so it really is fail-proof. So I'd really urge you to make it because it's really worth it to make it, and you really can't mess it up. So you see my dough's kind of dry right here, so you're going to see me add some water next because the flour didn't absorb all the yogurt. So I added a little bit of water to make my dough come together a little bit better. And you can kind of tell if your dough is really dry, then you want it to form a ball of dough. So that's what you're really looking for. And you don't have to pick up all the flour, all the product in the bowl, but you definitely want to see it come together as a dough ball. So you can see it's starting to come together as a dough ball, and I added a little bit more water right here because it was still a little dry. And I'm kind of kneading it into itself right now to see how it would form. So I added a little bit more water, and then I just mixed it like you're watching me mix it, and then I turned it out when I see how it's starting to form a ball in the bowl. So once it forms a ball in the bowl, then just turn it out onto parchment paper. So there's your dough ball. So that's what you want. I probably could have added more Greek yogurt, but there's your dough ball. So it's still kind of a shaggy dough. And I took a little piece off to see how it was going to mix. It was still really sticky, so it was a sticky dough. So I had to add more flour, but I kept kneading it. So it would get that stretch, but here it is as the dough ball after I knead it. It's still really sticky, but I added a little bit of flour there, so... And you can see me, I pinched a little bit off to do a tester in the air fryer, and that was my tester. So I took a little dough ball off, and then I shaped it into a little square to see how it was going to react in the air fryer. Because this was all, I cooked everything in the air fryer today. So I made a little square flatbread. And you can see that you just knead it until you can form a pastry. And once you form your pastry, then you can put it in the air fryer. So that was my little flatbread, and I put it in the air fryer probably for about like 6-7 minutes, not very long, and I put it on broil. And so then I sectioned out the rest of the dough, and then you see the little flour to the left of that dough. I poured a little flour in the middle of the parchment paper, so if it got sticky, I could move the dough to the middle of the parchment, and I could just kind of press it out and then move it to the middle. I I think if I was going to do this again, I'd put it in one sheet pan and I'd just make it one sheet pan worth of pizza or flatbread because it's so good. There's really no need to section it out because it was so good. I think I'd make just a big batch. I think I would make one big batch next time because it was such a good recipe. But I've seen this recipe for a while now and it was so easy. It was 1.5 cups of flour and 1/2 cup of yogurt and a little bit of baking powder and a little bit of salt, and then if you wanted seasonings, and it was seasonings, and I really wanted to try it. But I think the next time I would make it, I think I'd make it in one sheet pan. But I really wanted to share it with you today because it really is fail proof. I mean, I overworked the dough a little bit, and you can see that, like when you see me pick up the dough, it kind of loses its bounce. So you really want your dough to have bounce, and you're gonna see me pick it up in a minute and I shake it and it has bounce, and then I knead it some more and then it loses its bounce. So I would really make one batch. I wouldn't section it off like I did because it's so good. It was so good. I wouldn't section it off. So I think that's what I would do next time if I made this again. But I would really tell you to make it because it's really good and it's really easy and it's really quick. It's really quick, especially if you have the air fryer, and I know a lot of you do. So, but yeah, I'm just pressing it into squares, or see how it has a bounce there? That's what you want. And then I just keep working it, and it lost its bounce, and I overworked it. See how it lost its bounce there? Yeah, see how I overworked it. But that's okay. It was still really, really good, and I would still tell you to make it again because I don't know if you've ever had flatbread before, but it is really good alternative to pizza. It tastes just like pizza to me. And then I put it in the air fryer, so you're seeing that in the air fryer, and then that's the final result after 5 to 8 minutes on broil in the air fryer. So it was at 450 in the air fryer for 5 to 8 minutes, depending on the size of your crust. So, and then that's your final result. So, and then you could take that flatbread and put your toppings of your choice. I put mushrooms, tomatoes, avocados, and chicken, and Swiss cheese, and Parmesan cheese. And I put that on one of the pieces of flatbread that I made, and then I put it back in the air fryer. It made the flatbread pizza. So it was really good, and it's really quicker than you think. It really doesn't take much. I didn't let the dough rest or anything. I probably should have. Like, bread makers are probably rolling in their grave right now, but I didn't let it rest at all. I just made it and then put it in the air fryer. It was really good. So I just wanted to show you this because it really is fail proof, and you really can make a pizza in less than an hour, and it's a really, really good, quick, easy way to make a meal. So there's the final result. Tomato, avocado, chicken, mushroom, parm, Swiss flatbread. Really, really good. Really crunchy and really good. Thanks for watching. See you next time.